and then repeat one group, whatever they want, or use the sixth group. This rule is made because usually on platform, men have to complete one dive per group. So one forward, one backward, one reverse, one inward, a twister, and an arm stand. But considering that diving well synchronized from an arm stand is extremely difficult, the rule says for the synchronized 10-meter men platform event that the divers have to complete at least 5 groups, and then either repeat one or use the arm stand. And in this final, no one is going to use the arm stand, so all of them will have 5 groups only, and just one repeated. We are ready now on the 10-meter platform. We can see Ben and Matthew ready for their first dive, a forward 1.5 somersault pike. I want to remind you that the first 2 rounds of dives will see the divers complete required dives. So 2.0 degree of difficulty is set for everyone. And Team Great Britain does a good job with their first dive. Good entries by both divers, very clean. The timing of the platform is perfect. The way both divers came out of the pike position is a little bit too fast. They should have held a little bit longer on the pike position, but it's pretty good and vertical for both of them. 8.5 from the judges. Team Great Britain scores a total of 49.80 points on the first dive. We have Team Germany now on the platform. A forward 1.5 somersault pike for them as well. Good job. Very good, clean entries by both divers. Very well executed. You see the jump is perfectly together. The only little thing about this dive is that Timo and Jaden move their arms at slightly different timing. We see it here, but then the entry is nearly perfect. The objective of synchronization is to show the judges a unique figure, and they nearly do that perfectly. 50.40, first place for Team Germany. And here is the third team. Third team in this final is Team Ukraine. Oleksiy and Cyril. Back dive pike. Beautiful synchronization. It is amazing how well they took off from the platform and moved exactly the same timing in the air. Just quite heavy for both divers getting in the water for a voluntary dive. We see for such an easy dive they could have gotten better entries, but it's very, very sharp overall as a dive, and they jump ahead of everyone right now in the rankings. 52.80. They have more than 2 points advantage from Team Germany. Team Poland now and inward, and we can hear the crowd cheering for them. Team Poland, inward dive pike. Oh, beautiful dive. Great jump, very high off the platform. It is a very easy dive, but it's very well executed. The timing of the platform and entering the water is perfect. See how they move arms and legs together at the same time, and a very, very clean entry by both divers. 8.5 and 8 from the judges. 49.80 for Team Poland. They are in third right now. Third place, yes, with Team Great Britain, same exact score. Team Italy, Riccardo and Edward on the platform, the same dive as the Polish diver showed us just a few seconds ago. It's the first time these two divers dive together. First time ever in a competition. And they do a great job with this first dive for them. They could be the outsiders. No one has ever seen them compete together in this event, so we're all wondering how they're going to do, especially in the optional dives in the last 4 rounds of dives. And they start very well. They are a synchro career together, or at least this first dive. 8 straight 8s from the judges. They are at 48 points even. Team Armenia now. Marat and Vladimir are doing a back dive pike. Same dive we have seen performed by Team Ukraine. And unfortunately for them, they do not do as well as the other teams before them. This is the first mistake we see in this final. And it's pretty bad because especially it comes on a very easy dive. We see how they're completely, Marat is way too far over with his legs. He passes the vertical line by a lot, and his teammate Vladimir would just jump way too far from the platform. Low scoring dive for Team Armenia, just 34 points for them. And we have Team France now. Gary and Lois are doing an inward dive pike on their first round of dives. They do a good job. The entries are perfect. There are no splashes at all when the two divers get in the water. You saw Team France cheering very loudly for them. It was very well executed. Look at this. The arm movement is exactly the same time, and the entries are perfect. Just Lois is a little more distant from the platform than Gary, but other than that, it was nearly perfect. 49.80 for Team France, and they are in third place with Team Great Britain and Poland. Here we have the standings after round 1. Ready on the platform, Ben and Matthew. A back 1.5 somersault, half twist. They are the only team. Oh no, also France. Also France. These two teams, England, Great Britain and France, are the only two teams that do not use the twisters in the optionals. So they'll, we'll see in the optionals, they will compete the 4 groups of dives that only have somersaults and no twisters. Nice job. The synchronization is excellent. Once again, especially Matthew, after he finishes his half twist, he just never square back his twist, and he's completely straight when he's still at 6-7 meters from the water. Usually divers hold on to the pike position longer. That looks better in general. But overall, a great dive by Team Great Britain. 8, 7.5 individually, 8.5 and 8 in synchro. And Team Great Britain gets up to 97.80 points. Team Germany now. Team Germany with an inward dive pike. The first three teams in the diving order are not only the teams that got medals last year at the Europeans, but they're also here in Rzeszów, are for sure the ones aiming for gold, or with the better chances for gold. In the other teams, we have a couple of outsiders with Team Italy and Team France, but overall, these three teams have, on paper at least, quite an advantage on the others. Team Germany does a good job with their inward dive pike. Just the synchronization, the timing was good. The entries are too heavy, not clean enough to get 9s, so 7.5s and 8s for them. 47-40, they might have wanted better result on this dive, and they tie Team Great Britain at 97.80. Team Ukraine has a chance with this reverse dive pike to move in front of everyone and create a little gap between them and the other teams. And they do an excellent job with their reverse dive. Perfect distance from both divers from the platform. Sharp, very nice pike position. Perfect arm movement together, and a nice entry. Cyril is slightly short. We see him here. Actually, both divers are slightly short, but it's very, very well executed. We will see 8s individual and 8.5s for synchronization. And they get to 102.60 points. 5 points ahead of Germany and Great Britain. Team Poland, we hear the crowd screaming and cheering for them. A reverse dive pike for them as well. Good job, especially the entries are perfect. Very good way of lining up by both divers, Philip and Robert. See from this camera how Philip is just a bit ahead of time getting in the water, and also away from the platform compared to his teammate. Not by a lot, but judges do notice that. And by rule, they deduct a couple of points there. 8, 7.5, 8, 8, 7.5, 46-80 for Team Poland. And they're at 96-60. Very good job by a young Polish team. Team Italy now, Edward and Riccardo, are also doing the reverse dive pike. And this is individually, both divers do a great job with it, but the synchronization is just off. Saw how Riccardo Giovannini on the left is way ahead of time, and he gets in the water way too early than Edward. And it's a good dive overall, especially because the individually they do a good job. But a total of 46-80 puts Italy 8 points behind the leaders team Ukraine at 94-80. Team Armenia now, let's see if they can make a comeback after a huge mistake on the first dive. Now they have the reverse dive pike. and much better than the first round of dive for them. Once again, the Armenians are not in at the same distance from the platform. Vladimir is closer this time around. It was the opposite. That the opposite result in the previous round of dives. You see it from this view, how Vladimir, further away from the camera, is closer. Overall, it's good individual dive, but because of that difference in the distance, the synchronization scores are a little bit low. 43.80 on this dive and 78.60 total points after 2 rounds of dives. Last team up is Team France. Gary and Lois are doing a back 1.5 somersault, half twist. Nice job by the French divers. We see Team France cheering for them. They did an excellent job off the platform, jumping very high. Both divers had a good takeoff and perfect timing there together in the water. Both divers very clean entries. Not bad at all. So Team France right now gets all the way up to 98.40 points. They're happy, shake hands, they look excited about their performance. 98.40, they're in second place behind Team Ukraine. And then in third place is Germany and Great Britain at 97.80, closes the rankings. Team Armenia at 78.60. Bit too far behind from the others, and we are done with the required dives. So from now on, the degree of difficulty is going to be much higher, and we start with Team Great Britain, the first of the 4 optional rounds. Inward 3.5 somersault tuck, 3.2 degree of difficulty, and this is the time where things get interesting. Beautiful execution by both divers. Perfect timing with the ankles and knees on the platform here. Good press and same speed in the somersault. We see it here, they come out in the same exact moment. And also the entries are pretty good. Good job for Team Great Britain. The judges agree, and they all give between 7.5 and 8.5. 77.76 points, 175.56 total for them. Team Germany now with the same exact dive. They need 8 and 8.5, just like Team Great Britain, and they are not gonna get it. Since the very beginning of the dive, Jaden was way ahead of time with his ankle movement, and he jumped lower than Timo. Timo is on the left. You can see here how Jaden got in the water earlier, and also quite too far over. That's the one mistake divers in synchro do not want to make. One diver goes over, the other one stays short. That is the biggest synchronization mistake that you could make, and obviously it's not on purpose, but that's what happened here. Timo was slightly short and Jaden over. So Germany scores a total of 67.20 points, 165. Team Ukraine now, back 1.5 somersault, excuse me, back 2.5 somersault, 1.5 twist. they recovered very well in the air. The takeoff was not together. We will see from the slow motion how the twisters were at different time, were done at different timing here. Cyril took off earlier, but then getting back on the pike position, they somehow got exactly in at the same speed and nailed the entries. Extremely beautiful entries. This dive is going to score very high for sure, especially because of the way they finished it. 9, 8.5 individual and 9, 8.5 in synchro, 83.52 points. Amazing job by Team Ukraine, who is way ahead of the previous two teams. Is 11 points ahead of Team Great Britain already, and 21 points ahead of Team Germany. Team Poland now a forward 3.5 somersault pike. Oh, nice job. Nice job individually by both divers. And the only thing I could say about this dive is that Robert was a little bit further away from the platform. He kept on rolling his entry, but overall they did a good job in timing of the dive and got almost perfectly together in the water. 6.5, 6.5, 7, 7.5, 7 by the judges. Team Poland is at 158, just 7 points behind Team Germany. And Team Italy, the same dive for them. Forward 3.5 somersault pike. We hear Edward counting. And another dive that is, we can see they don't have a lot of experience together. They probably didn't have enough time getting extremely ready and in perfection and to perfect their timing. We see how Edward is way ahead of time in the somersaulting. Also, both divers' entries bring up a lot of splashes off the water, so just 6.5s and 7s for them. A total of 61.20. They're at 156 points behind Team Poland. Now Team Armenia, and then another front 3.5 somersault pike, which we'll see once again also from the last team up, Team France, after this. Very fast run. A very fast run on the platform for Team Armenia. They do a similar job as Team Italy. Seems like the timing of the platform and the entries are not very well timed. They do not get clean entries, so probably because of Marat did not even completely get straight in the water. The scores are going to be a little bit lower, and actually that's how it is. 55.80 for Team Armenia, 134.40. And here's the last dive of this round, and also the last forward 3.5 somersault pike we'll see today in this event, at least. Gary and Lois are ready to go. Ooh, huge mistake by Gary. And yeah, he did not get a great push off the platform. And we see it here on the right side. Gary Hunt tries to squeeze that pike position as long as possible, but it never gets straight and is way too short. Also, Lois is a bit short, but not as bad as his teammate. So this course here is going to be very, very low. 48.60, just 5 and 4 individually and 6s in synchro. So we're done with the third round of dives. We're halfway through this final. Ukraine, Great Britain, Germany. We can see here how the rankings are well defined, I'd say. Just a little fight in between 4th and 5th place. And we're up for, we're ready up on the 10-meter platform with Benjamin Cutmore and Matthew Dixon. Reverse 3.5 somersault tuck at 3.4 degree of difficulty dive. Oh, good dive overall. They are going to go and score more than average here for sure, but they were off in the somersaulting. We see it here. Benjamin on the right side gets in the water earlier. Was spinning a bit faster, and especially there, one is over and one is slightly short. Matthew, we can say he's almost completely straight, but not very clean in the M3. They should have done a better job, especially individual with both their individual dives. But overall, it's a good 70.38 dive. Is a good dive. Can't complain with that. Probably for gold, though, is not enough. We have seen Ukraine, especially today, is doing some amazing diving. So we'll see how it goes, though. It's not over. Team Germany on the platform, back 3.5 somersault tuck. Again, another dive that this time they started the arm movement on the platform a little bit different speed, but then they got back together. We see it here, how they spin at the same speed, the same height, but then in the water, they have both divers make mistakes. Timo leaves the legs short while Jaden flies over. We see Christoph on the left, one of the two German coaches reacting. He knows what mistake had happened, and just 65.34 points for them. And Team Germany is trailing behind Team Great Britain by 15 points now. We have the leaders after 3 rounds of dives now on the platform. Cyril and Alexei, inward 3.5 somersault tuck. They're by far their worst dive of the day. And we can see in the slow motion how since the beginning the ankle movement to get the rhythm was off, and see how also the rhythm of the somersault is different. Cyril ends up going way too far over. And this could benefit Team Great Britain especially. The individual dive of Alexis Sereda that scored 9 is definitely going to help this total score of Team Ukraine, but we are used to see them do this dive much better. They're still getting ahead of everyone in the ranking, though. And we have a Polish team on the platform now. Same dive for them. Inward 3.5 somersault tuck. The synchro is perfect. Unfortunately, though, one of the two divers on the right side, Philip, leaves the dive way too short compared to his teammate. We see it from this side how Philip is still in a pike position after coming out from the somersault and never gets all the way straight. Even with that mistake, I gotta say, I'm happy seeing Team Poland compete these ways. The first time in a long time that I've not seen Team Poland perform in this event, and he's happy that the number of teams taking part of this final increases, because it has been it's not been prepared by a lot of teams, this event in particular. inward 3.5 somersault tuck, also for Team Italy. And this is a great dive by Team Italy. Finally, a perfect synchronization for Team Italy. Very well executed, both individually and in synchro. You see it from the slow motion, how they get in the water exactly the same time with very clean entries. Nice dive. Best dive of Team Italy so far. 8.5s and 8s. Extremely good. 78, 72, and they are at 234 points, which means they are ahead of Team Germany now. Incredible. I was not expecting such a comeback by Team Italy. Not because I don't trust them, just because I have never seen them dive together. And in this pool, other than the couple of practices they've done this week, no one has seen them together. So good job, Team Italy, on this dive. Team Armenia, another really fast approach on this forward 2.5 somersault full twist. Running very, very fast on the platform. With that kind of fast approach, it's very hard to keep the dives close and at the right distance to the platform. We saw both divers jumping very far away. That drops their individual score to a 5.5 and a 6. And with dives that do not score very high, it is impossible to have also a very high synchronization score. So 6.5 in synchro for Team Armenia. They are at 188 total points now. Now Team France showing us a back 3.5 somersault tuck. Every time I see Gary Hunt diving, I am impressed how good he is for being 39 and still up there, especially mentally. It's incredible. Still has the mental strength to come and practice and do these kind of dives every day. And even though he has a lot of experience, he doesn't manage to get all the way vertical. But I gotta say, I'm very impressed. Chapeau to this amazing diver. Good synchronization. Both individual dives are not perfect. For the synchronization also, the distance from the platform by both divers is not the same. Gary stays closer, so 5 and 4s for them individually and 6.5s in synchro. A total of 202 points after 4 rounds of dives for Team France. And we have the standings after 4 rounds of dives. Ukraine in first, Great Britain in second, Italy in third, Germany in fourth, and Poland in 5th place, 6th place for France, and 7th Armenia. Well, we have now, after a couple of mistakes by Team Germany, we have now Team Italy ahead of them, and also Team Poland not too far back. So we have quite a fight, quite a competition for the bronze. While way ahead, there's Team Ukraine and Great Britain with 15 points behind them. I gotta say though, there's a huge dive here, a very important dive, a back 3.5 somersault pike for Team Great Britain with a high degree of difficulty, 3.6. So let's see how they do. They'll also have the front 4.5 somersault tuck later on. Oh, they do a good job. Not perfect entries, but the very high degree of difficulty is going to help them. Very good job by both divers getting all the way vertical on this back 3.5 somersault pike. The synchronization is a bit off, especially in the somersaulting. They are at different speed. You see it here. Also, Ben is further away from the platform, but not bad at all for such a hard dive. So, yeah, we see them talking about what happened in the air and how the dive went, how they reacted. So 6s and 7.5s for Team Great Britain. And obviously, they get up in first place right now. Team Germany now, let's see how they do their reverse 3.5 somersault tuck. This could be very, very important. We know both of them can do a great job on this dive. But it's also not that easy to do it exactly at the same timing. which is in a synchronized event, is very important. And they do get a perfect timing. Perfect timing. Synchronization is excellent. The problem is that Timo on the left side of the screen goes way too far over the vertical line in the entry. We see it here. It goes almost on his stomach here, way too far over. That drops his individual score very low to, he gets 4s from these judges for his individual dive. You see how the synchronization is just 6s, 58 points for them. Oh wow, this is a huge mistake again for the ones before were little mistakes for Team Germany. This one is big, especially because it comes nearly to the end of the event. A 4.5 somersault tuck for Team Ukraine. Ooh, this is bad for them. Team Great Britain is going to take advantage of this huge mistake by both Ukrainian divers. And I'm sorry for Team Ukraine, it's bad to say, but this makes things very interesting. This changes everything in the rankings. Both divers just land completely still in a pike position, very short. So 3s and 4s individually, 5.5, 6.5, only 55 points for Team Ukraine, and now they are behind Team Great Britain. Incredible. 3 points behind at 3:15. Incredible. We have Team Poland now. Let's see if Team Poland takes advantage with his back 3.5 somersault tuck of the mistake that Germany made just a couple of minutes ago. I was not expecting that this event would get so exciting at the 4th round. Just before the last round of dives, it seemed like, just 5 minutes ago, it seemed like Ukraine was nicely sailing to gold. And everything changed. Nice job by Team Poland. The crowd is exploding here. Amazing job by Robert Lukashevich on his back 3.5 somersault. Very good. Both divers very fast, spinning a little bit off in the synchronization, I gotta say, in the somersault. But look at this. Robert does a great entry in his dive. Good job. They score 66.33 points, and they are in 3rd place ahead of Germany by just 1 point. Unbelievable. I love diving. I gotta tell you, this is super exciting. I love how diving gives us these roller coasters of events. Today, we still have Team Italy with a back 3.5 somersault tuck. Their 5th dive. They need 8.5s to reach Great Britain and just 6s to be ahead of Poland. Oh, amazing dive by Team Italy. This is much more than 6s. Unbelievable. The outsiders from Italy nailed their back 3.5 somersault tuck. Amazing dive by both Italian divers. Riccardo on the left gets in the water slightly ahead of time. We see it also in the somersault. He's a little bit lower, but look at those individual entries. Amazing job. Team Italy does the best dive of this round with 80 points again, just like the round before. They get ahead of Poland at 3:14 with quite an advantage, and they're just 1 point behind Ukraine. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I was not expecting such a 4th round of dives. Very exciting. Everything is open. Everything will be decided at the very last round of dives. This event was the one that I thought would have had the gold medal already given before the last dive, and instead we gotta wait. Everything gets very exciting in the last round. Team Armenia with the back 2.5 somersault 1.5 twist. They doubled up on the twisters. We saw them do the forward twist in the previous round. They do a good job with their dive. Unfortunately for them, they were already too far behind. And then once again, the two divers are a different distance from the platform. They've done that in every single of their dives today. 65 points for Team Armenia on this dive. And they are at 253 total. Team France now, inward 3.5 somersault tuck. And I was checking the rankings so far before this last dive of the 5th round. The first 3 teams are within less. Oh, nice dive by Team France, especially in synchro. And in the time I was talking, I was saying Great Britain, Ukraine, and Italy are within less than 4 points. Anything can happen. I gotta say that Team Great Britain has an advantage because of the degree of difficulty 3.7, but also Team Ukraine has a very high degree of difficulty 3.6 with the back 2.5 somersault 2.5 twist, and Team Italy has an easier twister 3.2 degree of difficulty. But as I said multiple times throughout these days of competitions, high degree of difficulty gives you an advantage if you nail the dive, but is also a very high risk, because as we saw with Team Ukraine in the previous round, they had the 4.5 somersault tuck, which is the highest degree of difficulty in this competition, and they completely missed it. We have the same dive for Team Great Britain. Let's see how they do. Let's see where Team Great Britain sets the bar for gold. They were leading before this dive. Let's see how they do. And a mistake by Team Great Britain. Both divers went way too short. This is the same mistake that Team Ukraine did in the previous round. And I'm telling you, this dive opens up doors also for Germany and Poland to get back in medal contention. You see it here, how both divers are way too far short. And Team Great Britain scores even less than Team Ukraine before 372.69. That is where the bar is set for gold at the moment. Let's see if Team Germany takes advantage of this. They need 9s to get ahead of Team Great Britain on their back 2.5 somersault, 2.5 twist. And they are not getting 9s. I'm telling you that. Unfortunately for Team Germany, too many mistakes throughout the competition. The dive is very well executed. Don't get me wrong, these individual dives are good. Jaden is slightly short and not very clean in the entry, but synchronization is perfect. You see it here, they're at the right time. Jaden just slightly short, never got all the way straight. It's a good looking dive, but it's not enough to get in front of Team Great Britain. 356.64 points. Next up, Team Ukraine with a back 2.5 somersault, 2.5 twist. Gotta focus. They want a great dive here. They need around 60 points. And they are gonna get there in front of Team Great Britain. We see Tamara Goncharova jumping and screaming on deck. Their coach is very excited with the performance on this dive of the two young, talented Ukrainian divers. especially Alexis Herrera. He disappears underwater. What an amazing entry, and Team Ukraine does a great job with this dive. We see the reaction of Tamara and the other Ukrainians, very excited. They get up to a total of, let's see the judges' scores. Yeah, 7.5, 398.70. And they set the new bar for gold. Let's see if now we have Team Poland. Team Poland on the platform. Back 2.5 somersault, 1.5 twist. Team Poland needs 9s on their back twister to get ahead of Team Great Britain, and 7s on their back twister to get in front of Team Germany. Oh, not bad. The synchro is perfect, but unfortunately, Philip finishes his dive way too short on the right side of the screen. He never picks up enough speed to get all the way vertical. This is a mistake. He needed better than that, and so low scores for his individual dive. I mean, also lower scores for the synchronization, unfortunately. And the awards from the judges are 7 and 5.5. We see though their coach very excited in front of a camera with them. A solid competition for Team Poland. They can't complain with that at their first experience at this level. 352, they're just 4 points behind Team Germany. We have Team Italy now, and Team Italy was in 3rd place. They need to get in front of Germany and secure a medal. They need 4.5s. They can also get in front of both Great Britain and Ukraine, but they need more. They need, for 2nd place, they need 6.5s and 9s to beat Ukraine. Ooh, nice dive. Perfect synchro. They secure a medal. Incredible. How exciting. First ever competition together. They already have a medal at Europeans. Let's see what medal though. Let's see what color the medal is going to be. Incredible. Incredible. Team Italy with 7.5, 8.88. They get a total of 73.92 points, and with 388, they're in 2nd place now. Unbelievable. The outsiders get all the way to 388 points, just 10 points behind gold. Unbelievable. What an excitement here in Sheshov. Team Armenia now on the platform, the inward 3.5 somersault tuck for them. Another mistake by Team Armenia. They over-rotate these inward 3.5 somersault tuck. Timing was not so bad. Marat was a little bit lower, but he just goes way too far over. And now we have the last team for this final. Unfortunately for Team France, there is no medal contention for them. They were training too far behind. So we already have our medalist. Let's see where France is going to end up though with their last dive, the reverse 2.5 somersault tuck. Team France, as I said, is mathematically out of medal contention with this dive, but they need 37 points to get ahead of Armenia. 78 points to get ahead of Poland. Good synchro, not very clean entries. They bring up too many splashes when getting in the water. See how the synchronization is very well done. They're together in the water, but both divers just splashed quite too much. And with this dive, we're now done with the first final of the day, which all of a sudden in the last round got very, very excited. I, again, was not expecting that, but I guess better for us. We see the final result for Team France, 315.84. And the final rankings are on the screen now. Team Ukraine wins this final with 398.70 points. Team Italy with 388.83 gets silver. And Great Britain gets the bronze medal with 372.69. Bronze medal goes out to Team Great Britain with Benjamin Catmore and Matthew Dixon with a total score of 372.69 points. And Team Great Britain is back on the podium in this event, back-to-back, after winning gold last year. In second place, Team Italy with Edward Timbretti and Riccardo Giovannini with a total score of 388.83 points. And a fantastic way to start their synchro career together. I remind you, this was their first event together ever. And Italy is back on the podium in this event since last time was in 2006. And now, the new European champions with 398.70 points, Team Ukraine, Oleksiy Sereda and Cyril Bolyuk. After getting silver last year, they take home the gold medal, and both of them is the second gold medal here in Rzeszów. That was an amazing job by the two young Ukrainians, recovering from a big mistake in the fifth round of dives and still getting a nearly perfect dive on the last back twister and getting home gold.